Hello students, this class is for class 8 and we are discussing the atomic structure. So before going to modern atomic theory, let's first discuss the discovery of neutrons. Okay, so what was the discovery of neutrons? In discovery of neutrons, it was found that the whole mass, you know that according to Rutherford's atomic model, whole mass of the atom lies within the nucleus. But it was found that the weight of the nucleus is greater than the weight of the proton. So according to Rutherford's atomic model, protons reside within the nucleus. Here exist protons, and outside the nucleus there exist electrons negatively charged. But it was found, if there exist only protons, if in the nucleus there exist only protons, that means the weight of the nucleus will be equal to that of the proton. But it was found that the weight of the nucleus is actually double to that of the proton. Okay, actually double or greater than that of the proton. So it was found that weight or mass of, is a mass of nucleus, this nucleus is greater than that of proton, greater than mass of proton. So if the weight or mass of the nucleus is greater than that of proton, that means the nucleus contains some other particles, that is making the mass of nucleus greater. And what is that other particle? And that other particle is neutron. Due to the presence of neutron, the mass of the nucleus is greater than the mass of the proton. Then what about charge? It was found that the neutrons are neutral. It is neutral. Neutrons are represented as 0 and 1. Okay, neutrons are represented as 0 and 1. So by this 1 you can see protons are represented by +1 P1. So their masses are equal. You can say that the mass of proton and neutron are equal, but the difference is neutron is neutral, it has no charge, while the proton is positively charged, it carries unit positive charge. So nucleus contains both proton and neutron, and due to the presence of neutron, it was found that the mass of the nucleus is greater than the proton. But the whole nucleus is only positively charged because the nucleus actually carries the charge of proton, as neutron is electrically neutral. Neutron is neutral, it has no charge. So nucleus has the charge of that of proton, but mass is equal to proton plus neutron. So mass of nucleus is actually the mass of nucleus is actually the mass of proton plus neutron, like this. So as neutron is electrically neutral, so it will not be deflected by any electrical or magnetic field. It will not be deflected. So next, we are after discovering, or actually the discovery of neutron was found by Chadwick. The name of the scientist, Chadwick found neutrons. So next we are coming to the modern theory of atomic model, modern atomic model. After the discovery of 3 subatomic particles, that is protons, electrons and neutrons, we are coming to the modern atomic theory. So in modern atomic theory or modern atomic model, so we can say atoms can be divided into their subatomic particles. Dalton said that atoms matter consists of some indivisible particles, that is atoms are indivisible. But according to modern atomic model, atoms can be divided into the subatomic particles like proton, neutrons and electrons. So atoms can be divided into subatomic atoms can be divided into subatomic particles. Subatomic particles are what? Proton, neutrons and electrons. Second is it consists of two sets. Atom consists of two sets. One is nucleus. It consists of nucleus. It makes atom. Atom consists of nucleus, and outside the nucleus it contains cells. Nucleus and circular cells. Circular cells. In the circular cells, the electrons are rotating. So these circular cells, each circular orbit, circular cells or orbit you can say. So this circular orbit contains a definite amount of energy. Each circular orbit possesses a definite amount of energy. So the orbit that is closest to the nucleus has lowest amount of energy, and the orbit that is as a distance, when it is going at a distance from the nucleus, the amount of energy is increasing. So as the circular orbits possess a definite amount of energy, these orbits are known as energy orbit. These orbits are known as energy orbits. So third point we can write, that is each circular orbit possesses a definite amount of energy and hence they are known as energy cells or energy orbit, energy cells. They are known as energy cells. So the cell that is closest to the nucleus has least amount of energy, and the cell that is farthest to the nucleus has highest amount of energy. So when the distance from the nucleus is increasing, that means the energy of that orbital or the energy of that cell is also increasing. Okay. So this is the modern atomic model. Now, and obviously the fourth point will be about electrical neutrality. That is again the number of electrons is equal to the number of protons, and so the whole atom is electrically neutral. So this is modern atomic model. So next, what is the drawback of Dalton's atomic theory? Dalton said that atoms are indivisible. Matter consists of smallest indivisible particles. So atoms are indivisible, but actually the atoms are not indivisible. They are divisible into subatomic particles according to modern theory. So this is one drawback of Dalton's atomic theory. Okay. And next, another drawback of Dalton's atomic theory was Dalton said that the atoms of an element are alike in all respect. Atoms of an element are alike in all respect, but that is not true. So we are coming to that point why it is not true. Because of the existence of isotopes. What are isotopes? Where the atomic number is same but the mass number is different. Atoms of an element where mass number is same, atomic number is same, mass number is different. Mass number is different, atomic number is same. Atoms of an element. So if I say the atom of carbon, carbon is an element. I have given example. So carbon is an element. So there exists two isotopes, 6C12 and 6C13. Okay, 6C12 and 6C13. Here you know that the general representation of an atom is we can say that is ZXA. Zxa, where this portion is mass number, Z is the element, and X is what? Proton number or atomic number. Atomic number. This atomic number is actually the proton number. So this is element, this is mass number, and this is atomic number. So this mass number contains neutron plus proton. This mass number contains neutron plus proton, and this is atomic number, that is number of only proton. Atomic number means number of only proton. So number of neutron equal to number of neutron equal to what? So number of neutron equal to will be mass number minus proton number, or atomic number mass number minus atomic number. Okay. So mass number consists of neutron plus proton, and atomic number is actually the number of proton. So if I minus atomic number from mass number, I'll get, if I minus this P from this whole summation, I will get only the number of neutron. So just like this, this is the general representation of the element carbon, where this is atomic number 6 and this is the mass number. You can see the mass number is different, 6C12 and 6C13. So where the atomic number is same but the mass number is different, so these two are named as isotopes. So in isotopes there are some properties, that is, as the number of, in isotopes the atomic number is same, so they have same chemical properties. When atomic number is same, the chemical properties will be same. But due to the difference in mass number, their physical properties will be different. So I am listing the properties of isotopes, that is two major properties, that is as the number of protons are same as number of protons, or you can say as atomic number is same. You know that proton and electron is numerically equal. So as atomic number is same, so chemical properties are same. For isotopes, these are the characteristics of isotopes. And as mass number is different, as mass number is different, so physical properties, what are the physical properties? Melting point, boiling point, density, color, odor, etc. So as mass number is different, so physical properties will be different. So for isotopes, 6C12 atomic number is same, so chemical property same, but mass number is different, so physical properties will be different. But what Dalton said? Dalton said atoms of an element are identical in all respects. But by seeing isotope structure, we can see that for an element carbon, 6C12 and 6C13 are not same in physical properties. For isotopes, physical properties are different. That means we cannot say that atoms of an element are identical in all respects. They are not identical always. If there exist isotopes, that means isotopes are different in their physical properties. So atoms are not always identical, and this is also the second drawback of Dalton's atomic theory. One is atoms can be divided. Dalton said cannot be divided, but atoms can be divided into its subatomic particles. And secondly, Dalton also said that atoms are alike in all respects, identical, but they are not actually always identical because there exist isotopes, and isotopes of an element are different in their physical properties, so they are not identical. These are two drawbacks of Dalton's atomic model. So next is we know that Dalton said one postulate of Dalton is correct, that is atoms can combine, can undergo chemical reaction. So why they undergo chemical reaction and why they combine? To fulfill their valency or fulfill their octet. So what is valency and what is octet or duplet? So atoms can combine to fulfill their octet or duplet. So octet means in their valence cell is the outermost cell. The outermost cell of any atom. Now what are the cells? This is nucleus, and the cells are notified by like this. These are the circular cells where electrons are rotating, and the cells are named as K, L, M. When n equal to 1, this is K cell. When n equal to 2, this is M cell, L cell, like this. N equal to 3, this is M cell. So cells are notified by K, L, M like this. The closest one to the nucleus, this is nucleus. The closest one to the nucleus is K, and when we are going one by one, K, L, M. And according to Barbour scheme, the cells has a capacity of 2n square. 2n square is the capacity of any cell. That means if n equal to 1, it is 2 into 1. That means it can hold 2 electrons. The K cell can hold 2 electrons. L cell 2 into 2 square, that means 8. So the L cell can hold maximum 8 electrons, and the N cell, by applying this 2n square formula, it can hold 18 electrons like this. So this is the Barbour scheme, and according to this scheme, any orbital can hold a maximum of 2n square electrons, and by applying n equal to 1, 2, 3, we can find that K cell can hold maximum 2 electrons, L cell can maximum 8 electrons like this. And why atoms combine to what is valency? So the outermost orbital of any atom is known as valence cell, actually known as valence cell. And what is valency? The electrons that reside in the outermost orbital, the number of electrons that reside in the outermost orbital, that is in the valence cell, is known as valency. And atoms always want to keep 8 electrons in their valence cell. That is known as octet rule, 8 electrons. Atoms always want to keep 8 electrons in their valence cell, and that is known as octet rule. And helium atom duplet rule is applied for helium atom, and helium atom always want to keep 2 electrons in their valence cell. So helium atom wants to keep 2 electrons in their valence cell. So this is duplet rule, and other atoms tend to keep 8 electrons in their valence cell, that is the last cell, outermost cell, and this is known as octet rule. So to occupy octet or to duplet, atoms can combine with other atoms, or they are willing to undergo in a chemical reaction. So that is octet and duplet. Okay, so the revision of your atomic structure chapter is almost complete. So ending the class.